Dear friends, before you will hear the speech of a person who you may know personally, I would like to point out that he is an individual with credentials not only in the science realm, but is well known as a modern scientist. And for many years before 1999, he was a rector of Riga Red Banner Institute of Civil Aviation that was later renamed to Riga Aviation University. The Bibliographic Center of Cambridge University in 1999 awarded him with a silver medal for being a 21st century scientist. In 2003, he received a Golden Medal of Dignity from Cambridge University.
I was born in a military family. The formation of my mind took place in a Soviet school and college, which I finished in 1962. I studied in a radio engineering faculty in Riga Aviation University. It was very materialistic. The scientific work which I did was aeronautical radio navigation and aviation radio communication, associated with interface protection and noise immunity of technical systems. It demanded a very materialistic worldview. I was also very materialistic, which meant that the physical world came first and the spiritual came second. In other words, at the time, there was no God for me. Yet everything changed in 2004 when my wife and I went on vacation to Florida. My wife was experiencing stomach aches, and a diagnosis in Riga before our departure to Florida showed that in her stomach were 5 large enough bloody gastroculations from 6 to 8 millimeters. So for my wife, we began planning a very specific diet, and our friends became interested in what this was all about. When we explained to them about these gastroculations, they told my wife, "Don't worry, you will leave here completely healed." There's a believer that lives in Tashkent, who God gave great healing abilities. So we called Salman, and he spoke to my wife. He asked my friend host, Peter Polikarpovich Dimitrov, to put his hand on my wife's stomach, and with the other to hold the phone and listen to Solomon's prayer. What I'm trying to say is that Solomon prayed in Tashkent, and Peter Polikarpovich received the prayer in Northport, Florida, and carried the prayer from his hand to my wife's stomach. At the end of the prayer, Solomon asked my wife to the phone and told her that God received their prayer and that her stomach is safe and sound. At the end of the conversation, our friends asked him to pray for me because I was limping. My limping was due to me being a master of sports at sambo fighting at youth age, which caused the same knee to have 3 different traumas. I had gust of knee, ligament, rush meniscus. So Solomon asked me to put my hand on my knee, and we shall pray. He prayed for me and told me that God received his prayer. Go run. I started to walk fast, then run, and then was able to put weight on my knee. After a while, I was able to do all sorts of quick movements. But when we came back to Riga, my wife was re-diagnosed. And a professor came up to me and asked what we had done to become cured. He said, I don't understand. Her stomach is completely healed. There isn't even a single scar. We called Solomon and told him thank you. I was healed, so was my wife. And Solomon replied, all the glory belongs to God. I prayed, he healed. Also, I want to add that my wife had frequent migraines. And once, when her head hurt badly, I called Solomon and he said, let's pray. He said, put your hand on her head and let's pray. After Solomon's prayer, her head stopped hurting, and all symptoms of migraine were gone for many years. I also want to talk about my daughter, who during her college days began smoking, and after I tried everything to get her to quit, she couldn't. She said that she was being tempted too hard. I called Solomon to see what could be done. And Solomon said that the spirit of smoking, spirit of drinking, and drug addiction could be easily removed by prayer. After he prayed for my daughter, I can happily tell you that she hasn't been smoking for 5 years. Another healing happened when I was already a believer. Me and my wife were testifying to all the miracles that brought us to God. It so happened that one of our members came up to me and told me that his son was laying sick in bed for more than 2 months with the Crohn's disease. He was cut and not stitched up for more than 2 months. If you don't know what Crohn is, it is a disease of gastrointestinal tract, when the cells of your stomach can become aggressive and eat away at your gastrointestinal tract. We called Solomon, and after his prayer, the disease went away after a few days. And later they stitched him back together, and now I can happily tell you that he's been living well for 3 years in England.